GNT show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. These are the voyages of the GNT show. Our continuing mission to explore Star Trek storytelling, to seek out new worlds and interesting characters, to boldly go where no show has gone before. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the GNT Show, episode 279. I'm Terry Lynn, and stumbling into the room is Gettysburg 7.
Joe Lontrue, those high-priced escorts, they just wear you down. It's just crazy.
And they're worth every penny.
Every penny. She did this anyway. And good morning, all. How are you all today? There he is across the table in the glass enclosed nerve center, Ceridium.
Kabla!
And there he is looking through the little hole in the ceiling that we've got him stuck in like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. It's Steve.
I'm just here so Mike doesn't get fined.
Morning,
True story.
everyone.
True story.
Clutch.
I'm actually having technical issues here in my primary studio, so I am so grateful to have my nemesis here today.
Oh, he's
Thank
your
you,
nemesis.
It's a little bit of technical issues on Mike's side, so Steve has stepped in to assist us, which we always thank you. And also, we're on Facebook Live, so hi everybody on Facebook.
And hello to anyone on YouTube too.
Yes,
and
we
YouTube
are
as well. Yay!
streaming like everywhere,
Oh
all
my
at once.
God!
I see Sally and Timmy. And look at that. Look, there's Jason, and he's wearing his plaid pants today. Isn't that nice?
Are they knickers? I can't tell.
They're short pants with hard buckle shoes.
Oh my God. Good morning, everyone. Coffee Clutch time. I know that Nick has got a lot on his plate for Coffee Clutch this morning, so let's start with Mikey. What'd you do this week?
I went home this week. I got mugged by my dog. Well, I more like Dino'd, from the Flintstones. How when Fred walks in the door, he's like, yep, 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 and knocks him to the ground and starts licking his face all like off. Yeah, that was me this week. My dog Charlie was so happy to see me. Got to see the kids. Got to spend time with Katie yesterday. The boys they came over Tuesday night. So it was great seeing them, and then what else did I do this week? Just try to get caught up. And it's really what I've done this week is just try to get caught up from 5 weeks away. Yeah, that was that was a long time. So I had a stack of stuff on my desk when I got home, and so I started at the bottom and worked my way up, and now, I think I'm almost caught up. So, I've started to get some of the backlog G&T posts up, beginning with the new contest that we have. Yay!
Yay! Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Okay, so me being the hardy Klingon that I am, I love puns, and so we got a copy of Star Trek Cats. So I said, what better than Star Trek cat puns? So that's the contest. Create a meme with a Star Trek cat pun on it. Send it to me, and if you can make me laugh, you might have a chance at winning. So, yay.
Cool. And where do they send this?
Post it on our Facebook page.
There you go. So the Facebook page, which is G&T Show, right? The G&T Show.
Sunday G and T is like the last part of our link.
And we'll make sure that link is in our chat note or in our show notes. So send your cat pun meme to Ceridium. And if you crack him up, whoever cracks him up the most will win a copy of Star Trek Cats.
Yeah, it's good.
Cool. Stevie, what did you do this week?
All the usual podcasting and working, but I've also been working hard to try and get my steps up. So, because last week's show, I'd mentioned that I'm aiming to do 10,000 steps a day.
That's
to raise
right.
money for cancer research for all of June, and did the first 10,000 steps on Wednesday. So,
Congratulations.
I will tell you, I don't know what's going on today, but I'm going to tell you, I'm very proud of Steve.
I was out walking again today with some family, and spoke to a personal trainer as well. So I'm doing my first session with him to make sure I'm doing all the right things and not doing any wrong things with regards to becoming a bit more active, because I'm going from doing sort of 1,500 steps a day on a busy day for me to doing 10,000 steps a day. So it's
your calf muscles are going to look amazing.
Well, I think all you have to really remember, Steve, is you put one foot in front of the other. You move them one at a time.
Well, that's usually the issue, is the fact that usually they're just sitting in front of me. I'm either sat in front of a computer screen, a TV screen, or a windscreen. So...
I hear you, brother. I hear you, brother.
Oh, man. Well, cool. Where can people, help you out on that?
They can go to my fundraising page, which is fundraise.cancerresearchuk.org/page/Steve Roberts UK. So we'll get that put into.
We'll
the
have
show
that
notes.
link in the show notes as well.
Yep.
And then that way you can assist him in his fundraising efforts for cancer research. Hold on. And also in the fundraising effort, don't forget our friends over at Trek Geeks are going to be doing
Boo, boo.
You had true love and you shat on it. Sorry.
I'm sorry, what show is that again?
What, from The Princess Bride?
No. What show were you talking about?
Trek Geeks.
Boo, boo, boo. I love those guys.
Oh my god. Too funny. The guys over at Trek Geeks are doing a really great fundraiser.
I'm sorry, I'll stop.
Are doing a really great fundraiser for the Nevada Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, and G&T
That
is
would
going...
be for the less educated among us, the ASPCA.
Yes, the Nevada ASPCA.
Because something tells me we have some mouth breathers after this last week.
Oh my god. And they are trying to raise their goal is to raise $1,000. Our goal is to help Trek Geeks raise more than $1,000. So
for the animals.
For animals. So they're going to be doing a selfie contest at Star Trek Las Vegas where they're going to be wearing scants, because Nick won't be there. They won't be, they're as far as I'm concerned, what they're doing is doing what Nick
They're holding
would've
my
done.
place is what they're doing.
Right, I know.
Once again, they're following in my footsteps.
That's right.
Trek Geeks, once again, you are following me.
And if you take a selfie, that's true. I'm not
gosh.
arguing. I'm like, that's such a Nick thing. If you take a selfie with them and post it, they will, I think, donate $1 per selfie, and they're trying to raise $100. I said that the G&T show would match them. And if you can think of anything else, please head over to the Trek Geeks website. They have a It's a direct to the ASPCA GoFundMe page. None of the money goes to the G&T show. None of the money goes to Trek Geeks. It goes directly to the ASPCA. And yes, as far as I know, it's tax deductible. So support, support, support. And that would be great. Let's see, what did I do this week? I just got back from
Jeez.
Alaska.
I was gonna say, aren't you in the land of the midnight sun, the North Star State?
I was for a whopping. I flew in on Thursday. I was there for a meeting on Friday, and I flew home yesterday.
Now, have you seen the movie Insomnia with Al Pacino and Robin Williams, directed by the great Christopher Nolan?
Actually, no, I haven't.
Yeah, Al Pacino's a cop who flies there on a case, and he has title Insomnia because the sun and the
Oh my
whole
God.
bit, and Al Pacino has gone into scene chewing territory long ago, but he's really good in this movie, and you just feel exhausted for
Oh,
him.
jeez. I'll tell you, it was a little strange. It was a little strange to be, getting out of. We had gone to Benihana for dinner on Friday night with the attorney that was working with me on this case, and so we walked from our hotel over to Benihana, and that our reservations were at 7. We got out of dinner at about 9:15, and the sun was still high up in the air. The sunset was about 11, between 10:30 and 11 p.m. And then it started coming up around 4.
There you go.
It made for a very hard sleep. It was rough. How people do it, I guess it's just because they're used to it. I think I would have a harder time. To be honest, I'd probably have a harder time if it was dark all the time.
Oh, I would love that.
It's a
I'm a
hard
night
life up
person.
there, I'll tell you.
Now, what city were you in?
I flew to Anchorage,
Right.
so on the southern section of the main portion of the state, not like Juneau, which is actually down on the Canadian side.
Right.
But
Now,
it's
what was
cool.
what was the weather like?
It was cool and rainy.
Okay,
So
but cool. But
50s.
But it's not, even though it was raining, from what I understand from guys I know that have been stationed there, isn't it like Colorado or New Mexico where it's the no humidity? It's dry even though it's raining.
It was,
No
I have
dampness
to
is what
say,
I'm
yeah,
trying to
my hair
say.
dried pretty quickly. I have to say it really did. And you were surrounded by incredible mountains. Oh my God, they're so beautiful.
Everybody I know that's been stationed there, out of because I was with a battalion from there, in Iraq, and every one of them wanted to stay there except for one guy, and he had only been there like 2 weeks and then they deployed, but everybody fell in love with it as soon as they got there.
Yeah, it was quite beautiful. And I kind of was sad that I was only there for a day and then kind of stuck in offices, right? I didn't have any real chance to kind of get out of this. And by the way, Anchorage downtown is super, super tiny. It's itty bitty. It's more like, I don't know, they might have 10 buildings, 3 or 4 of which are hotels, and the other 6 are business offices. And ConocoPhillips has its big office building there, and that's it. I mean, not a whole lot going on downtown, but it's cute. There's great restaurants and a couple of brew pubs and a really beautiful walking trail along the inlet coast. And I would have enjoyed getting out to see it a little bit more, but never really had that chance. I was there for a mediation, did what I needed to do, and came home. So my client was actually from Barrow, and the mediation had been moved from Barrow to Anchorage. So I'll take that as a positive.
Hopefully they'll move to Adak on the Aleutian Islands.
Oh my God. The Barrow is Barrow's like at the top of the state,
Yeah.
above the Arctic Circle.
My
And
brother-in-law was stationed in Adak, and that's for people that know that's like on the tail of the
of
Alaska.
the
How it's got
Aleutian
that
Islands,
tail
yeah.
that stretches towards Russia, and you know they literally the people that live there literally like oh well yeah we were running out of everything because the supply ship hadn't come in for 2 weeks because of the
Right.
weather.
Right. It's a hard life. The attorney that I worked with on this particular case happens to be an Aleut uh, native.
Did he
And
come in on dog sled?
no, he flew in from San Francisco.
Oh.
But had a and then our my client is actually of one of the Eskimo clans. It was interesting. It was very interesting.
Right on.
They represent
Um,
the Eskimo Guild.
oh my God. All right, Nick, you have some shit to talk about in your coffee clutch. That's not Star Trek. So let's get to it.
It's not Star Trek. I don't know if anybody heard, but a new movie came out this week called Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Seeing it
was
Tuesday.
say again.
Seeing it Tuesday.
Yes, I will have no spoilers, I promise, Steve. But I will say this: if you follow me on Facebook, you know that I've been waiting for this movie to drop. I've been very excited about this movie, and I will preface it by saying that I was somebody who liked Prometheus, even though a lot of people didn't. I did. I wasn't upset that there was no xenomorph in it. I just love the franchise. But having said that, I was very, very nervous going into Covenant because I really wanted a good movie, um, and something that I just wanted something. Alien got kind of tarnished when they started doing those Alien versus Predator films, so I wanted this franchise to have a success. I came out of this film, and this film is still stuck in my head and resonating very heavy with me. Uh, it's first of all, before I went, I watched Prometheus again because I have it on Blu-ray. So I watched it, and then like an hour later went to the theater, and wow, what a back-to-back to watch. And Michael Fassbender is just amazing. He spends a good part of the movie, um, and this is not a spoiler, playing against himself because there's two androids, Walter and David, and there's a lot of conversations between them, and he plays both of them. And what could have been a great uh, kind of campy thing, because that's tough to do.
Yeah.
Fassbender plays it amazingly. Um, the film see what a lot of people when Prometheus came out didn't take into account was it was the first of three films that Ridley Scott had planned in
A new
the
trilogy, right?
yeah of a prequel trilogy. Well, Prometheus is very much the first third. This movie takes that, builds on it, and just blows some things wide open.
So is this a second in that trilogy, or is
Oh, it
this
very much is.
okay?
It, there are so many direct ties to Prometheus, but things that you will see in it that you recognize from the classic 1979 Alien or James Cameron's Aliens. Um, some things are explained from Prometheus and the original movies, all of that. And now we're heading into Alien Awakening, which he's already working on, which will be the third chapter to explain all of this.
Right on.
And it's beautifully filmed. But with Ridley Scott, even his worst movies, you can never say they're not beautifully filmed. The guy's eye is just amazing.
Well,
So-
I didn't see this film, but I did see Guardians of the Galaxy. But go ahead, Nick.
Okay. Um, once again, the protagonist, as Ridley Scott is often wont to do, is a female, and she's awesome, and she's amazing.
She's the same actress who portrayed, just for those of you who know, she's the same actress who portrayed the American lead in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
she's how do I say it? She's beautiful, but in a very simple way, and that's not coming across the right way. She's like Sigourney Weaver. She looks like an any woman.
Yeah, she's like the girl next door type of thing.
Very much, very much. There's a character who isn't who dies very, 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 very early in the movie, who is one of the most famous actors right now. I didn't even know that he had a cameo, but it was just people were laughing because they were surprised to see him in the cameo. I'm not gonna ruin anything by telling you because uh, it doesn't have anything to do with the alien portion of the movie, but it's James Franco.
Oh,
Which
wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, made me laugh out loud.
By the way, the actress's name is Catherine Waterston.
Yes, she's Midnight, not Midnight, Matthew. Yeah, she's just, oof. But it's a really good, but there's something else this movie does, Terry. And Mike had sent a link to an article, and the guy just pissed me off in it. Because he didn't get it. This movie raises some very deep questions about, which I know you didn't see Prometheus, and this is tough because I know Terry doesn't watch this series. About
It's too scary for me.
it's who am I? Why am I here? Why were we created? Basically, some pretty deep into theology and religious territory. Because in Prometheus, it was revealed that this group, this alien group they call the Engineers, came and seeded. Sorry, my wife is just delivering me a breakfast.
Ah, lucky.
They came and seeded our planet with their DNA, and we came from them. And so in Prometheus, a group of scientists figure out where they're from through various, like, finding, one of those things that's based on how, like, the Mayans and the in Scotland and all this, there's cave paintings and
The
stuff of
ancient
people.
alien theory.
Yeah, of people who look the same drawn on cave walls, but there's no way these ancient civilizations could have ever met one another. So for
Could
them
have
to have
had
the same,
that kind of reference.
right?
Yeah.
So that they want to go and find this alien race and say, where did we come from? Why did you create us? And all of this. Well, this movie expands on that even more by taking the events of Prometheus, and this is where I would get into spoiler territory. So I'm
We were
not going to
created
say
because
anything.
they wanted a Parcheesi partner.
Parcheesi.
They created us
Parcheesi.
because they wanted a Parcheesi partner.
I was going to say bridge.
Oh,
Bridge.
bridge, yeah.
But so yeah, it gets into these questions of, and what's interesting to me is, if you remember, Ridley Scott's brother Tony Scott, who himself was a director, a couple of years ago, very tragically committed suicide. Hung himself. Do you remember that, Terry?
Who is this again?
Tony Scott.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder if him going into this deeper place and this, why are we here? Is God real? All of this that he's infused into this. Uh, I wonder if it's somehow connected to his brother's death. Him working through that. But
Probably.
it's nice to have some of these deeper questions in what really had become just nothing more than a blow 'em up action franchise. But him taking it into these deeper questions, while at the same time having things bursting out of people's chests.
Yeah.
Sure, you can't have one without the other.
But it's nice to have that kind
Yeah.
of stuff that you think about afterwards, like, why, So yeah, and I know that Moogie loved the movie as much as I did.
Yeah.
Her and I were going back and forth. We were both so excited, and Kevin Dillmore, I know, loved it. So, but some of these, like the one review that Mike linked to, he was like, "Oh, and it gets into the predictable." Well, there's a certain thing that people want from their Alien film. They want the chest burster. That,
Yeah.
one of the most iconic scenes in all of
You
movies
can't
is
have Star Trek without the Enterprise or without a starship.
really a little something called Deep Space Nine, Mike.
There's starships in there. Well, that's all I'm saying.
But it, it's like the author of that piece just wasn't happy that this movie delved. Now, the one thing the movie doesn't do, and it's true, some of the characters are very underdeveloped, but you've got to wonder how much of that is studios telling him, I need it in this amount of time, so trim 20 minutes from it, trim half an hour. Because we need to get it in as many theaters playing as many times as possible, because you're only going to have 2 weeks because Wonder Woman comes out on this week. You know what I mean? So directors kind of get screwed in some cases of things like that. That's what happened to James Cameron for Aliens.
Huh. Well, I'm really glad that you seem to enjoy it. And that a lot of people that I know have come away from this film going, "Holy crap, now I get Prometheus." I didn't like it, and now the second film's come out and they were like, "Oh, it puts a whole new spin on the first film."
Yeah.
And
The people that complained about Prometheus, and still do, and I was very glad because Moogie hated Prometheus, but she went back and watched it before this movie, and she said, one, it was not as bad at all as as she remembered it being. And that's a big thing, to see something again after a couple of years. And two, these same people would not have batted an eyelid when the first um what's that franchise? Lord of the Rings movie came out, and gone, well, that doesn't make any sense for it to end like that. Well, no, it's part of a trilogy.
oh yeah, yeah, I get
But
that.
we've become so, I want it all, I want it right now. I gotta run. I need the
It's
people.
the
Let
binge
things evolve
watching.
over time.
It's the binge watching generation.
Yeah.
That is probably part of it. And I wouldn't say generation. Well, maybe generation. I mean that the binge watch
I wouldn't say generation. I would say binge watching
era.
philosophy. Yeah.
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 The binge, it's an era. It's not specified to a
It was
specific
a
generation,
it was
right?
No,
a
because
poor
Terry and
choice
I
of
binge
words.
watch, and
Yeah.
we're old.
We be old and shit.
I got my 30th high school reunion this year.
Oh,
And it's
I
the first
remember
one I get to go
that.
to. It's the first one I get to go to. For my 10th, I was in Bosnia, and my 20th, I was in Iraq. So it's the first one I actually get to go to.
Cool. I missed my 30th. I attended on the internet. I did. I just sent everybody a big note going, "I'm in New Mexico."
Oh, there you go, son. Once again, nailing it. Binge
Yep,
culture.
culture. Yeah, it's a cultural shift.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed. The idea that, you want it all, you want your story, you want to be able to sit and just, take it in like a book, right? it's up to you as to how much book you want to take in.
Exactly. You can binge a book if you want to.
Right. Speaking of books, I'm about halfway through section 31, Disavowed.
Oh, nice.
And I have to say, I told Jim last night, I said, I'm actually at a point where I'm having a little difficulty getting through this book right now because I'm really not a big spy novel person. And
You mean you don't read John Le Carré?
La Carré? No, I never have. My mother was a big spy novel person. She bought them all. She was like book of the month club, and she always picked off the spy novel stuff. So we had them in the house all the time, but I never really developed an interest in them. And this is written as a spy novel that just happens to be set in the world of the Federation and Section 31, and I'm not quite sure. See, here's the thing: so when you're reading a spy novel, you're constantly trying to outthink the author, right? You're trying to figure out, okay, it's like a murder mystery, right? You're trying to figure out, okay, who's really the murderer, who's really doing what, and in this one, you're trying to think who's outthinking who.
I'm trying to remember. When did this one come out? Is this Dave's newest one, or is this one of the older ones? Because I've read all of them except the most recent.
This one was last year, wasn't it?
It came out at the end of last year, I believe.
Okay, I think I'm pretty sure I've read this one, but go ahead, Terry. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay. It's the one that involves the alternate universe.
Ah, yes.
All right, and maybe that's my problem. It involves the alternate universe. It involves the mirror universe. And I'm not a real huge fan of the mirror universe. I'm just not. And so I get confused. And so because I'm not exactly sure, because I don't read what's going on with the mirror universe, and so I have to really pay attention to the setups of what's going on in the mirror universe, so I know who's who and who's allied with who and who's because everything's kind of jumbled. And then you bring it back to what I got totally confused in like chapter 13 or whatever as to who the fuck was doing what. And I was on the airplane yesterday and I was like, okay, I have to stop. I have to put the book down and I'll pick it back up again because I got really frustrated because I had to go back and I hate having to go back and reread a chapter. So I had to go back and reread a chapter going, okay, now what universe are these people in? And although it said alternate universe, I had been reading the first 12 chapters kind of going, I thought they were in the prime. What?
You know what I hate? When I have to go back and rewatch a scene in porn because I missed some character development and I didn't know why she was on her knees for that guy. What?
Oh, too funny. Yeah, it's yeah, it was just a real weird thing. So I'll pick that back up. Now, mind you, and also for the fact that it's at least with Julian, you're dealing with Julian Bashir and you're still dealing and his ultimate hate for Section 31. Oh, we'll see.
You're Skyping for me, Terry.
Really? She's not for me.
Not for me.
But yes. So that was that. Now, I think we all know what the next topic is going to be. And that is this week a trailer came out with some new information and
the Orville.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes, that one came out first.
Well,
so
first of all, Terry, that's Bobby from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
It's Adrian Padalecki, yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Yes. Look at me and Mike, yes.
She's playing the ex-wife.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
Shit, I didn't even notice.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to
I'll
Yeah,
this.
tell you the one
a
thing.
trailer for new Seth MacFarlane's new spoof television show called the Orville did come out this week. It is a Star Trek spoof. There's no doubt about it,
You know,
and it looks really
most of
funny.
it just made me smile, but you know what
Yeah.
scene of it made me laugh out loud? When he walks through the goo thing in the hallway, and it's like, yeah, no problem. All right.
Yeah, that one was
Yeah, that
funny.
was
It was the
hilarious.
banana one for me.
Oh yeah.
It was like, okay, now we don't have to fear the banana. We are no
And who
longer
knew Adrian
afraid of the...
Palicki had such a great comic timing?
Right? It just looks funny. It really does look funny. And then on the heat, but a lot of what kind of cracked me up was that a lot of people were surprised by this. They announced that they were going to be doing a spoof show well over a year ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
So don't, you know, if you were surprised, you weren't listening to our show. But I love Seth MacFarlane. To be honest with you, I'm kind of glad that he's doing this because I've always been a big supporter of him actually being handed the keys to the Star Trek universe. I was always the one person who thought, Seth MacFarlane truly, he gets it. He loves it. I think he would have done great with it if given the opportunity to do something dramatic. But because he's already kind of stereotyped for being the crude comic that he is, there was no way CBS was going to give him the break.
Yeah, I mean this is going to be awesome, and I don't want to compare it to Galaxy Quest. I do not want. I'm trying.
I actually thought that's what it was when I first started the trailer.
Yeah, I mean it's so easy to fall into that and to kind of expect that it might be the same universe. So I'm gonna try when I watch it. I'm gonna try to keep in mind that this is something completely different.
Right.
Galaxy Quest was it was it was almost perfect, in the sense that it was for what it was. It was almost perfect, and that's what I don't want to do to this. I don't want to put that expectation on this show, because this is a completely different animal. But I love the idea that it's a Star Trek parody, essentially a spoof, and I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see it. I think it's absolutely hilarious from the clip, and yeah, I'm excited. The Orville, yeah. There's 2 Star Trek shows. Sorry,
It kind
I'm
of,
just
no, it's
geeking
great.
out.
So we're going to get that in the fall, coming up on Fox. And then, of course, the big trailer came out. Big announcement came out from CBS All Access, that Star Trek Discovery, of course, will be debuting in the fall on CBS and then moving to CBS All Access after that.
Oh, did
The
something
other
come out
news,
about that?
yeah, the other news that did come out was that there's now
It was a
actually
photo.
15 episodes as opposed to 13. And that it would be
And it's gonna have an after show
an
talk
after
show
show. Are
thing.
we all assuming that this is gonna be what's his face?
Well, it's called Talking Trek, so for me, the whole talking something or other, that's Chris Hardwick. So that's what comes to my mind. They have not announced that I've seen who is going to be doing it,
I
but
did see something just now. Just came across my Twitter.
Oh.
It's going to be Alec Peters.
oh, shut up. I mean, personally, I love him. I love what he's done with with Talking Dead and Talking
I was gonna
Saul.
say you're talking about Hardwick, right?
Yes. So I would not mind if it's Hardwick.
But he may not have the time because he's also hosting that game show in addition to all that other stuff he does.
He also has another talking. It's Talking with Chris Hardwick. So, but that is
and
his,
Nerdist
and the Nerdist podcast. I mean, but it's exactly his style, his spiel. And he did mention that he is a big Trek fan. He when Sonequa Martin Green left Walking Dead, I mean, the last few seconds, he did get that out there and mentioned that that he
I
is a
think it
fan.
should be
So
Adam from Creation.
no,
I think Larry Nemeczek would be good.
Oh God. No, because
We'd
you'd
never
have,
go
gotta
to the
let
end of
the-
it, right?
you gotta let the guests talk.
We love it. We
It'd
love
be a
you, Larry.
20-hour show, but
I love it. Well, you never know. We do not know, but I think, Mike, you're probably leaning towards something that's probably more correct than anything. And I am again once just isn't Hardwick like Will Wheaton's BFF?
I do not know. That I do not know.
I think it would be fun if Will was the.
Oh God, that'd be
If they are
awesome.
if they are friends, Will's going to be on the show as a guest commentator periodically. He's done that with Walking Dead and Talking Saul. He's invited his buddies to help fill time on episodes where they have not as many guests within the production or the so cast crew. So he'll bring in, usually he brings in an actor to someone from the production, whether it's writer or producer or whatever, and then he'll invite a common Joe Schmo, a fan.
You know who I would love to see do it, and I'm blanking on his last name. Terry. He's an actor who's a very good impersonator as well. Kevin. And he's a huge Trek fan.
Oh yeah.
And he was at the
Pollock.
Yeah, Kevin
Yeah,
Pollock.
Kevin Pollock.
Who's also a huge Trek fan.
Yeah,
who's
he and
and
Maurice LaMarche do the Talk Like Shatner Day thing.
And he's also a very good interviewer. He made a really good documentary I watched about stand-up comedy. But he's a very smart guy. He would be somebody that would be fun.
Yeah, he was actually on the Star Trek 50th anniversary
Yeah, at the
documentary
Griffith
that they did.
Observatory.
Yeah. That was really fun. So Nick, I want to get to your take and some of your beefs about this first, because I want to kind of attack them and get them out of the way, because you've had some things to say.
It's interesting. I've been thinking about something.
And now it's time for another snarky editorial with Gettysburg 7.
Oh boy. Is this the new thing?
Hey Terry.
Yes, Getty.
So the Star Trek Discovery trailer dropped this week, and as usual, Star Trek fans did not disappoint. They dropped into the sad and shame-filled pool of end-of-the-world talk this side of Heaven's Gate. First, we had the human Horta-Trails, who immediately started crying that this is nothing more than a The Force Awakens ripoff, and calling the female characters Rey, because I guess anything set in the desert is now a Star Wars ripoff. Idiot douchebags weren't even smart enough to call them Lawrence. Then we had the thespians saying there were nothing showing character development or what their arcs are, from a 2-minute clip. I'm sorry. If you expect a short promotional clip to have the same character building as a Peter North video and it failed to meet your expectations, but this was a trailer, like when your wife's bending over to get the groceries out of the cart at the checkout at the Piggly Wiggly. Then we had the crowd that was cheering the two characters, as they should. They were ecstatic a black woman and an Asian woman were the focus, and that's a good attitude, and we should be happy about that. Then some, men and women alike, had to throw an agenda in and started saying that this is how it should be, and I quote, "No more white men as captain ever." Nothing racial or sexist in that. Of course, some of these same people would cry and make voodoo dolls of CBS management if they found out that Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Pratt or Benedict Cumberbatch were considered, and the exec said, "Nah, they're white men, can't do that." I also saw a bunch of postings said, "Yeah, you go," and saying, "No more white women, you had yours." Literally saw that, "No more white women, you had yours." Well, if that's the case, then after this, the following should never be cast again. White men, white women, black women, Asian men, hey, Sulu counts, or Asian women. They've all been up there. So the next captain would need to be a quarter Eskimo, quarter Brazilian, half Persian. Stop pushing agendas, checking boxes, and just ask for this. Best actors, best writers, and production staff are hired and the show rocks. Too much? Now we get to another group of people who should be strapped to a chair and beat with hammers. And I'm sorry, Mike, because I'm not including you in this, but I know you'll get some residual splatter on you. But the same people who worship at the altar of all things Klingon, in fact, some of them were in the No More White Men posts, whining, "Leave the Klingons alone." What? Because you only want the Klingons you know? No diversity in them? When else the Klingons didn't look like Klingons? When Star Trek the Motion Picture came out. If you want to be a purist, then you need to go to TOS and say everything after that isn't really a Klingon. Oh, wait, things change when producers get more money and you can spend more. How funny people scream Idic, except when it comes to their favorite species or their own political leanings, and they want to see on screen. Then anything that doesn't meet that desire is somehow wrong. Star Trek is a corporate-owned entity, and it's about what they think will make them money. Stop sounding like Axelites and bitching it's not real Trek, all based on a 2-minute trailer. Now let's take a moment and talk about another group whose mother should have had an abortion as part of their medical coverage. There's a wonderful group who are very vocal about raising their voices for all of us to hear and cry that Discovery is on CBS All Access and not TV or Netflix. Oh, cry me a swimming pool filled with your salty tears. Yeah, how horrible for the cost of a Venti non-fat, double-whip, no-salt, half-steamed cup of jizz you can watch it. Oh, and do some research, would you? Because the name CBS All Access does not mean the only shows on the service are from the CBS network. It's CBS Studios. So stop bitching and saying I don't watch CBS. But if you're going to complain and say you're not watching because it's not on the streaming service of your desire, then please stop proclaiming you're an ultimate fan. Just sit in your room, stare at the walls, and think of what other things you can manufacture outrage about. All right, fantastic.
That
All
was
right,
awesome.
fantastic.
That was another snarky Gettitorial with Gettysburg 7.
Yeah, Steve, I think we only need like 2 seconds of music after
That was awesome, though.
Steve and I were working on that yesterday.
That's really fun. Wow, I like that, you two. Thank you. And Nick, I couldn't agree more. The trailer came out. I did see a few people going, "Oh, yay, no white guys," and I'm like, "Fuck you." That's bullshit. We all do know that. No, that's a crock of hooey. And again, to those who are saying, I don't want to pay for a streaming service. Fine, don't. Really, at the end of the day, don't pay, don't watch, don't bitch. There are those of us who are going to pay to watch this show.
But I
And
think they
whatever.
piss me off because they're like, I don't watch CBS. Well, did you like Cheers? I love Cheers. That was made by CBS Studios.
Yeah, it's kind of wacky. It is kind of wacky, and
I think they're confused. They think it's only shows that are on the CBS network.
Oh yeah.
Well,
no.
there's that, but it's a lot more than just that.
And they have an agreement now for films. I just got the email on that. So they're starting to show there's movies and everything. It's a streaming service, and once again, when this show first started, we talked about the paradigm shift and how we are going to receive our entertainment. And we said that we opined back then that the network televisions would be dead in 10 to 15 years. They are absolutely on their way to becoming that dying version of how we get our entertainment, and it's giving way to the internet and streaming services of our choice. Cable is also on its way out the door, as Nick and I were talking about not too long when that article came out about how the cord cutters are really coming through.
Of course.
Yeah, it's happening, folks. So the fact of the matter is that you're going to hate the change. If you like the way you get your... Yeah, go ahead.
Our friend Oren was talking about Oh, well, I don't want to have to pay for another one. If you cut out cable and you got 8 streaming services, you'd still be paying less than you
Yep,
do for cable.
that's right. Yeah,
You may
exactly.
need to
Matthew understands. He
may
pays
need
for
to
Hulu.
increase your internet speed, but hey.
Well, still, at the end of the day, what are those going for, right? So um so
We cut
at
the
the end.
cable here at Casa de Mike.
Honestly, and I think I was talking, I think it was here. Yeah, because Mike and I were talking. I think if the NFL ever goes where every game is streamed and not just, because they have their contracts with ESPN and all of that, if there was a way to watch every game on streaming, I really think the amount of blood that would be spilled of people cutting cords would be unbelievable.
Yeah. Dean Sherman asked, so Discovery's not coming to Netflix. It is on Netflix for the US and Canada, but not for I'm
No,
sorry,
all over the world
except for the
US and
US and
Canada.
Canada. So the US and Canada are CBS All Access. I think Canada is
It's like Sky or
Sky or something, yeah. Um
Space or
it's
something.
something else. But for everybody else, yes, Netflix is going to be the carrier, for the show. So if you have Netflix in the UK, chill the fuck out.
Yep, you can get
Um,
it the day after, so
oh, that's fine.
you guys will get it, and we'll have it the next day.
It'll be
and
the,
that'll be
it'll
the
be the
same for the
reverse
rest
of
of the world.
Doctor Who.
Yeah.
In reverse, exactly. Um, so the yes, Casey just came up with his Kong. Like, will you play with me, mommy?
Oh, I
With
miss
the
the
big
guy.
swampy eyes. Okay, no, I can't play with you right now. I'm on the show. No, here.
He
Get
doesn't
that.
understand you. He's not Chloe.
All right. So it is a so yes, that is coming out. Now, speaking of Netflix versus
Well, before, the people that were like, "Oh, they made them look just like Ray." Really?
there it was I have to say okay, there's lots to talk about. But one of the first things I really wanted to kind of address was yesterday or the day before yesterday, a new trailer came out, and it was the Netflix trailer as opposed to the US trailer, the one for CBS All Access. And they are very, very different trailers. They're edited in a far different way. And a lot of people in the US are like, oh God, I wish we had gotten that trailer because it looks so much cooler. And again, it's because they kind of downplay the action a little bit, and they really uptick on the character side of things for the Netflix market. And somebody was like, "Why are they two different things?" And I said, "Did you ever think that maybe CBS understands the American market?"
I didn't like the Netflix trailer.
And and the Americans do. So what are we missing here? What did CBS miss? Would it have played better if they
I
were
think it might have
reversed?
gotten misfiled.
The Netflix one was more like mini clips. They cut out so much of the detail that was shown in the CBS one.
And I
It's
think
just
that's
like-
what Americans were looking for.
But I like the CBS one. You actually got to see some great detail, things that I've been looking forward to. But yeah, it was just like a mini clip show, and it was like 25% less as well, time wise. They'd cut out huge chunks of it.
Yeah. I'm it was a very interesting choice to with the Netflix trailer. I personally kind of found it a little bit more compelling just
I've
because
only
I got to
seen
see
one
more.
trailer.
You haven't seen the Netflix trailer yet?
I need to track down the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's you get to see more. There's no doubt about it. It's not as chopped up as the American one is. However,
Interesting.
like Nick said, the whole thing starts off with the two, or at least the main character and her commanding officer in a desert, which we are assuming is Vulcan. May not be, but we're assuming it is.
I got the impression from the whatever trailer that I saw, that she kind of grew up on Vulcan.
I got that feeling too.
So
there
It-
was
here's
a
the
shot
thing:
where I thought she had pointed
can anybody
ears.
see
It
her
was
ears?
this. They. I did look at her ears. They didn't seem all that pointed, but they did kind of a little more. I guess a little.
I
less
think it was the
round,
way
but
her hair fell. Because, wow, are we really being Trek nerds right now?
We are.
Um,
Let's go there. Let's go there.
The way I
Do you
think it
think
was the
she's
way her
half
hair
Vulcan?
fell, Mike. Because I thought the same thing. I thought, does she have pointed ears? Because I
I
had to
mean,
look at it.
it was the whole Sarek narration that kind of gave me that impression.
Yeah.
And then after that, I started, trying to pay a little more attention to her ears, and they were definitely not as pointed as you would expect to see from a Vulcan or even
So what if she
a
was just a
half
human
Vulcan.
raised on Vulcan?
That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I think she was human. She's human, and she was raised on Vulcan, and maybe she could be the child of a diplomat or something. But she definitely had, to me, she definitely had that upbringing. But she's also, because of the conversation with her commanding officer, Giorgio, when they're talking about combat, and it's like, okay, so the Vulcan upbringing isn't holding her back.
Well, or is it? I mean, she's looking at that as it's the only logical response, right?
Okay, I can kind of see that. Yeah, it could be the only logical response, but Starfleet doesn't fire first. But it's the logical thing to do. We're in trouble here.
Right, right.
Yeah, okay,
And
I
that's
can
kind
see
of
that.
how I'm reading it, is she sees that as the logical response.
I get
Um,
it.
It's we'll see. It's gonna be
I'm
uh,
excited.
I
I'm
am
so
too.
excited.
I am too. It also, again, since we know that isn't the Discovery, the ship that we saw, the captain that we saw, they're all on a different ship. So when does the Discovery actually come into play? And I have a feeling it's going to be after the end of the first episode.
Maybe a little further along, but possibly. But still, the Shinzu, it had, from what I saw of it, and they didn't show very much, but from what I saw of it, it did have that idic shape that this Discovery has, although it's much more layered in meaning, like it's got things in different places, and it's, but if you were to look down on it, I think it would have that exact same idic type shape that we saw the Discovery
Sorry
have
about
initially.
I
Does
just
that
reenacted
make
Tom
sense?
Hanks' scene from League of Their Own.
Oh, dude.
Oh my god. Sorry, Mike.
Oh, too funny.
Okay.
Mike, you've seen that, right?
Yeah, I have, and I know exactly what you're talking about, but how do I follow that up now?
Have you talked about the uniforms?
No, I was talking about the ship.
Nope. We were talking about the
Okay.
ship.
Okay. And then I'm going to talk about the uniforms.
From Facebook, we had comment from Stephen Milmine, who says in Canada it'll air on Space and stream on Crave TV streaming service.
Thank you, Steve.
Hello to our Facebook listeners and our YouTubers.
And our YouTubers. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Let's talk about the uniforms, shall we?
Okay, I'm gonna be one of those people. I'm gonna get nerdy and
And nitpick?
canon-y and all these kind of things. All right, so it's supposed to be set 10 years before TOS, right?
Yes. Well, it says 10 years before Spock, Kirk, and so I would assume that means TOS.
Yeah, so
But we don't know if that's before, I don't know, 10
these
years before
uniforms
they
just
were
don't
born.
match up with that time frame.
Well, if you have a look at the pilot episode, the uniforms were only ever in two colours, blue and gold. So these uniforms have blue and gold, or blue and bronze on
No,
them.
I'm not talking
and
about that. I'm talking about the cut. They should be more like the uniforms from the Cage. which
And here's
granted was a
the thing.
1960 thing, and
Yeah,
and we're beyond
and
that
here's
and
the
all of
thing. They're
that.
throwing the Lookout all together, right? Because the bridge doesn't look the same. Nothing
It
about
really
this
does look
show.
like Star Trek Online, doesn't it?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, very
Oh,
very much so.
It's also very NX-01-ish as well, the
Yes.
bridge. But the
Yeah, which I
uniforms,
like
if you
that.
have a look at what you saw in the pilot for TOS and have a look at Enterprise, it's almost like they've merged the two together.
I would say this looks like an evolution of Enterprise than it does like a precursor to TOS.
Yeah, because like in that Netflix, they show number one and that female yeoman in in that uniform. I don't know. It just bugged me because, and honestly, it looked kind of. Maybe it was because I saw it right after I saw the Seth MacFarlane one, and the uniforms are real similar.
They're very very similar. They really are. But except for the fact that the Seth MacFarlane one, at least they're bringing in other colors. They've got like that
Yeah.
peach color and other shit. So
And they have Adrian Palicki.
and they have Adrian Palicki. So yeah, I'm looking at this as an extension or an evolution of Enterprise than I am seeing it as a primary colors. And maybe that's it. I'm not big on the whole. I'm okay with the whole. I'm okay with the look change. I am. I'm okay with the modernize the damn show. Jelly bean buttons and primary colors were 60s and 80s, and L cards is just done. It's over with now. Those spoke of a time. It's okay if this show set before Trek TOS speaks of the time that is current, and that's 2017. It just I don't want things to look like the 60s. I want things to look like now because it's supposed to be in the future.
If they filmed it and had the sets and uniforms and ships like they had half a century ago, then people aren't going to watch it. It's as simple as that.
I'm not saying that, but I am saying the cut is so different that it just I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it evolved from Enterprise to that and then into what we knew as TOS. That's what I'm saying.
I understand. I do. I understand where you guys are coming from. I happen to think, it's funny is that Sun just said primary colors and jelly bean buttons in glorious Technicolor. Well, that's exactly why they used primary colors and jelly bean
And
buttons.
what's funny, in the cage, it was only blue and gold. There was no red.
Right. And they did it so they could take advantage of the new technology that was color fucking TV. What's our new technology now? Our new technology now is going to be
3D printing.
3D and VR. It's going to be
where I can make my own woman.
Well, your priorities. Yes. Okay.
Oh yeah, like I'm the first one to think of that.
No,
I guarantee you, some Japanese guy
there are
has a
sex
brand new
bots.
family.
Don't worry about that. We know.
Some Japanese guy has a brand new family he goes to home every night.
But again, the entertainment's going to change with the form of entertainment that is on deck, and it's going to take advantage of streaming services, the ability to, where is its revenue going? Where companies' revenue going to come from? And that's what this is about. It's a way to sell and to make money for a corporation. Welcome to welcome to the world.
Well, Terry, have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm in Alaska.
Now, Mike, you said you just saw it. You know what's interesting? Speaking of virtual reality, watch how I tie this all in. Virtual reality and where we are now and everything. There's an alien race in that movie. Their leader, she's hot. But they pilot all their ships through virtual reality. And Just
I would not.
wondering.
I would not say through virtual reality.
Well-
because it's not that. That really isn't what it is. It's more of they're drones. They're playing on on the human interface is a video game, and it's treated as a video game. Even the sound effects are a video game.
But Terry, what it is it's like if, let's say I was quote deploying to Iraq, but I go into an office here in my hometown, and I get in my little cubicle thing that's made to look like the interior of a ship, but the ship is actually flying over Iraq, so it's almost like a first-person shooter, but you're controlling the ship. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you see that as a future for space exploration for us? People doing that from Earth, remotely piloting something?
It may be the only way we can. I mean,
We kind of already are. I mean, look at the robots on Mars. Sure, there's a 6-hour delay because it's Mars, but that's pretty much
and the
The
only
exactly
long
reason-
distance rates there are unbelievable.
exactly. but basically that's what it is. It's a couple guys in a room in front of a computer mapping out what they want the rover to do, and then they have to wait 6 hours to see what it sees and what it does, so they can plan the next.
Like asking my son to clean his room.
to see what the set of moves that they told it to do, what the results are. I mean, that's the downside is the lag, but essentially that's what we're already doing.
and
if
there's
you look at
nothing we can do
drones
to
and
get over the lag because it's going as fast
As
as
light.
physically known. Right. And that's the thing. Unless there's some kind of a technological breakthrough, in other words, if humanity can sit down and try to figure out there's some kind of a barrier in our brains that aren't allowing us to see something that we can't yet, or if there really is going to be a physical limitation, there is no way we're going to be able to get out past our own solar system, and at all, unless and there's no way we're going faster than light. And it really we have to, I think that's the way that we're going to be exploring is virtually with a really long lag time. I mean, yeah, we can get to Mars and we're planning on going to Mars. And I think that's really